Good afternoon, my name is Min. I'll be your examiner today. What is your full name? May I see your identification? That's fine, thank you. In the first part, I would like you to talk about some general questions about yourself. Let's talk about what you do. Do you work or are you a student?
I work as an IELTS trainer now. It's been about 7 years since I started this career, but I have about 16 or 17 years experience in teaching English in total.
Do you like your workplace?
Actually, most of my lessons have been delivered online for the last 5 years. So my workplace is mainly my home at my desk. So I have no reason for not liking the place as there's everything I need for my job. And I sometimes reserve a separate study room outside for face-to-face lessons. And I like that place too. It's very conveniently located and nice.
Did you have to take any special course to get this job?
Not to take this job, but to become a more qualified and better English instructor. I have taken English teaching qualification courses and several short courses for English teachers. Every course was worth taking, and I believe I definitely became a better trainer.
I would like you to talk about sharing things. What kind of things do you like to share with others?
I usually share something I have found useful or good with other people around me, such as desserts or dog treats, and so on. It's quite rewarding in a way for me to see other people feeling satisfied with the things I've shared. And it's also a way of getting affirmation that the products or services I like are actually good.
Have you shared anything with co-workers at your workplace?
Of course I have. I've usually shared my experience in teaching with my coworkers whose teaching careers are shorter than mine. Also, I sometimes brought some snacks and coffee to cheer everyone up when a long day was expected.
Did your parents encourage you to share things when you were little?
Why not? I have a younger brother. Parents usually make the first child sacrifice many things for younger siblings, and my parents are just as typical. So I had to give something up for my brother, but I was also quite stubborn and refused to give some things away.
Let's talk about the internet. How often do you access the internet?
I'm always online because I do my work online. I have to search articles or listening that suit my lessons and look things up on dictionaries online to find definitions of the words I need to explain to my students. Not a single day passes without the use of the internet in my world.
Have you ever had to leave your house to access the internet?
Yeah, when I was at middle school and high school, because that was the transition period from the manual to the digital world. So some school projects had to be done on the computer. I sometimes went to so-called PC rooms to print my homework out and enjoy some computer games too.
If you didn't have access to the internet for 24 hours, what would you do?
I will probably spend time playing and walking with my dog. Actually, my dog Happy doesn't like me staying in front of my computer as I don't take much care of him and he always feels sad about that. I can make up for his sadness if I lose internet connection for a while.
Thank you. Now let's move on to part 2. I will give you a topic and I would like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you talk, you will have 1 minute to think about what you are going to say. You may make some notes if you wish. Do you understand? Okay, here's your paper and pen, and here's your topic. I would like you to describe a party that you recently attended. All right. Please drop your pen now. Remember, you have 1 to 2 minutes for this, so don't worry if I stop you. I will tell you when the time is up. Can you start speaking now, please?
Actually, I'm not a very sociable person, so there's only one party I have recently been to. It was around last Christmas. One of the dog trainers that I know invited me and my dog Harper's to her Christmas party. The purpose of the party was to thank all her customers as she started her own business that year, and it was all thanks to those who used her services. I was not a customer, but I suggested many ideas for her independent business because I know a thing or two about public relations and selling myself to customers. So we were on good terms in a way, and I was invited. Luckily, the venue was near my home. It only took us 30 minutes on foot to get to the party place. But it was freezing cold that day, so it was not very pleasant to stay outside. Since it was held by someone who trains dogs, there were also several furry guests too. It was nice, but I was quite nervous at the same time because Harper's is not gentle with some dogs. But I managed him quite well, and he seemed to enjoy the party himself too. The dog trainer prepared food and some programs to encourage the guests to thoroughly enjoy the party. It was especially fun for me to meet some other dog owners that were highly likely to share the same views on taking care of our dogs. Around 3 hours later, the party was over. And
thank you. May I take the card, paper, and pen back? Thank you. We've been talking about a party that you have recently attended. I would like to discuss with you 1 or 2 more general questions related to this topic. First, let's talk about parties. Why do some people like parties while others hate them?
I'm not really sure why, but I guess this is because those who enjoy parties are extroverted and recharged by meeting new people. On the contrary, others who like to have quiet me time possibly find it stressful to stay in such crowded and noisy places with dozens of strangers.
Why do some people like to host parties at a restaurant or hotel rather than their house?
In my opinion, the most probable reason can be the convenience of food cooked and served. In fact, cooking is very troublesome as this usually involves many stages from grocery shopping to cleaning the table and washing up, which is too much work for average people who work at least 8 hours a day. It's sometimes, wiser and simpler to pay for the table and food. Also, we must not forget that people not only eat food, but also enjoy the atmosphere at the same time. If a proper mood is hardly set for a party at home, it's a better idea to go to a place where a nice vibe is.
I would like you to talk about hosting international sports events. Do you think hosting an international sports event is worth the trouble?
Yes, that's why hundreds of countries regularly compete to become a host country of the Olympics or the World Cup. Such international sports competitions are the best opportunity for countries to introduce them and improve their image on the global stage. Moreover, now the commodity selling to the world well is culture, such as food and pop music and so on. And international sporting events attract millions of people around the world. Of course, a huge amount of money is used for building all the infrastructure and facilities to get ready for the event, which is a heavy burden for developing countries. Hosting sporting events is definitely a double-edged sword.
How do international sports events impact tourism in the host country?
As I have previously mentioned, large numbers of people, including players, coaches, as well as spectators, visit the country and they try local cultures and go to tourist attractions, which all means money is spent in the country. Also, if visitors enjoy their stay, there can even be a third or fourth visit to the country. As a result, successful hosting of a global event can have positive effects on the country's tourism.
What challenges do countries face when organizing international sports events?
Actually, I have already mentioned the biggest challenge briefly in my previous answer. It's the money. Needless to say, it takes a lot of money and other resources to prepare for the event because who would like to make a bad impression to the world by skipping on resources? So many countries end up taking a loss by hosting an international sports competition.